Mark, first and foremost, you must be just reflecting on that first victory with a lot of pleasure, because there would have been a bit of pressure on you and the game, and everyone had their eyes on what was going on. So to come away, clean sheet, 3 points, victory, job done.
Yes, listen, it was nice to get going. It was nice to get the 3 points. As regards to putting pressure on, of course there's going to be a bit of pressure on myself. I always try and put pressure on myself because we want to perform at a high level. I said to the players before the game, listen, we've got to go in and have no fear when we go out on the football pitch. And I was pleased with a lot of aspects of the game: the boys' commitment, the players' commitment, the support I've got from the staff, the support staff throughout, and everybody at the club since I come in. So it made my job a lot easier on match day, and it's made my transition a lot easier. So I've got a lot of people to thank for the support around getting ready for the game and the preparation for the game. And then the players went out and performed, and it was a gritty performance. There were certain aspects we were really, really pleased with. Of course, there was aspects where we could get better, but the boys showed fight, togetherness, and a commitment to getting the 3 points. And we were pleased with it.
And there seemed to be a turnaround at half time as well. I mean, not specifically, but did you have a message for them at half time that maybe changed things a little bit?
We knew we needed to be more progressive with our possession. We want to try and dominate the ball. We want to play. That's the identity of MK Dons, and I'm aware of that. It's how I want to play football, how I see football. But we want to be progressive with it as well, and we wanted to move our play further up the pitch. We spoke to Mo a little bit about his positioning. When we had the ball, to come in and try and receive in certain areas, to try and get in and hurt them a little bit. That was the idea behind us setting up in the formation we did. We made little tweaks and they implemented that. I think the big message was from me at half time was the importance of starting the second half in a strong, powerful way and dominate that and try and get a foothold in the game. There were moments of the game where we had to defend and dig in. But there were also moments of the game where we dominated the ball as well and created some good opportunities.
And one of the things that's been pointed out before your arrival at Stadium MK, and we've talked about it when I've done commentary, and Toby as well, that there have been elements of MK Dons play that have been really good. There have been moments within the game that have been really good. I guess your job to a certain extent is making that more consistent, making it more consistent throughout the 90 minutes. Those good bits, not just for spells here and there, but every game and every minute. I don't know that's the holy grail for every football club, but I guess that's quite relevant here.
Of course, yeah. We looked at where the team were performing and how they were performing before I come in. Me and the staff who I work with, and we identified what they were doing well. Like you said, there's been a lot of positive things, and we find ourselves in a position, and listen, we're in that position. We know that we're in that position. So, but there's key elements of play where we can improve and where we can get better, and that's what we're going to try and do in the short term. We've got that long-term vision for what we want to achieve and implement and how we want the team to look. But we've got a short-term goal as well of where we feel we can impact the team and improve them in certain areas to get an upturn in results. And because performances sometimes have been good, but we've not always got the results, or we've not always finished our attacks off well and had good end products and things like that. So if we can implement those kind of short-term goals, that will help us move up the table, get us into the position we want to be in, and then we can start to look towards building and working towards those steps to create that long-term vision of what we want the team to look like.
From what you've experienced so far, everyone buying into what you want to do, and everyone buying into what the club needs to do?
Yeah, I mean, that's my first impression. Of course, you're going to get that when a new manager comes in. I'm not daft to think that there might not be different problems further down the line, because listen, when a new manager comes in, you get that upturn and you get that uplift, and it's a clean slate for everybody. It's a clean slate for the players who've not been playing, who maybe feel they're out of the picture a little bit, and it's a chance for them to impress and stake a claim to be part of the squad. You're going to get that. Like I say, you're going to get that, and then further down the line, there'll be, in management all the time. And I mean, this is my first head coach job, but I've been in football long enough to know that, there's challenges around the corner every day. There's different challenges and things you have to deal with, and even more so as a head coach. But the players have have been committed 100%. We haven't been able to get on the training pitch much, but as regards to the football analysis we've done in the video room and the discussions we've had, you can see they're really, really attentive. They want to learn, they want to get better, they want to embrace what we're trying to do in the short term, and they can hopefully see that vision for the long term as well. So their commitment from the players has been fantastic, and I think you saw that on the pitch on Saturday in those difficult moments where we had to defend our goal. Players were putting bodies on the line, they were blocking shots and really, really trying to protect our lead and protect our goal. So that's all you can ask, and we can build on that.
2 clean sheets in a row in the league, and were you, at what point were you aware that was only the first time this season that there've been 2 wins on the spin in the league?
After the game,
yeah.
After the game as well. And I was just focused on the game. We had to come in, we had to bring a new staff together. I had to get to know people in the club, and they've been fantastic to help me integrate into the club as well. And actually, as the days goes on, even on Saturday now, it feels like I've been at the club a long time because of the welcome I've got from the staff, the people around the club as well, and the fans as well on Saturday. That's such a nice feeling. My whole family couldn't be down there. My daughter and her boyfriend and my youngest son came down, and for me to have that reception from the fans, of course it helps with the win, but I mean, even before the game, the fans were, you could tell they were going to get behind the team and help them get the 3 points. So I was really grateful for that.
You probably feel you've been there a long time for the amount of hours you've done over the last few days, no doubt, over the last week.
Yeah, maybe, and that's not going to change anytime soon. The staff here have got a fantastic work ethic. I think that's noticeable from the start, and people around the club do everything, and that's kind of my leadership style as well, and my philosophy that as a head coach and as a staff and as support staff around, we want to do everything we can to help prepare the players, and everybody has a part to play. Everybody's a part to play, not just me and the staff and the immediate staff. I want to get that feeling where everybody feels connected and they can have a part to play. So when the players cross the white line, they can really get behind them, and likewise the players are really appreciative of what the staff do, and I want to build on that, and there's really good foundations here.
You're enjoying it?
Does it sound like it? I am. I'm really, really enjoying it. I hope it sounds that way. I'm really enjoying it. I'm enthused by everything. I'm not naive to know that there'll be speed bumps around every corner in management and coaching, and I've experienced a lot over my time as a coach and being up at Leeds and working in other positions I've been in the past. So there's always a speed bump, there's always something to deal with around the corner. I'm fully aware of that. There'll be ups and downs, but it's important we stay focused and level-headed even after good performances and victories. We can't get too high. Enjoy the moment a little bit, but then we have to get back down to earth and understand that we have a certain work ethic, what we need to attain all the time within training and games to enable us to get better and better every time we play.
Might be a bit of a reality check for the next 2 games to a certain extent, because you come up against 2 sides on the road who are good teams, good sides. Plymouth, obviously, we know what they're doing, but before that, of course, Peterborough. And I don't know whether anyone's brought you up to speed with Peterborough. There's always been a certain rivalry between Peterborough and MK Dons, and I think that goes back to playoff games and the distance between the 2 clubs. And there's been a rivalry. They've played each other so many times through the years, but an opportunity just to back up what happened in the last 2 games with a trip to Peterborough. It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, we're under no illusions that it's going to be tough. We've done a lot of work in a short space of time, and the staff here who were already at the club have all prepped for the game, sort of sharing that information with us and aligning that to how we want to approach the game now. It's been a quick turnaround, but like I said, we've been working really, really hard. There's been lots of fantastic work behind the scenes, but listen, I like derbies, and I'm sure the players like those games where there's a little bit on them. Every game should be like that, but in this in particular, that little bit of rivalry is good. It's good for the fans who are going to come up and support us as well. So we're looking forward to it. We know it's going to be a big test. We know that the physicality as well, as in this festive period when the games come thick and fast, we know that's a challenge as well. but we've got a good squad. We've got players chomping at the bit to fight for a starting position, and as you saw on Saturday, the players who came onto the pitch can really impact it as well. So I've said to all the players they need to be ready, they need to be attuned to the game, so when they're called upon, whether it be from the start of a game or during a game, or it might be the next game after, if they just miss out, then they're ready to go and give everything for the club and the performance to help us get the result.
That's great for me. Thanks very much, Mark. Nice
Cheers,
one.
thanks.
You mentioned their physicality, Mark, and something that Liam Sweeting said last week was that he felt that Dons are lacking a little bit of physicality when it comes to the depth in the squad. Is that something you agree with at this point?
Yeah, we've spoken, and we've spoken in depth over the last few days, and as part of the process when I was coming in, I've had long conversations with Liam, and it is a process where everybody collaborates together to recognise these things in the team, what the team requires. But I want my team to be a physically demanding team on an opposition. I want to dominate the football and have a certain style, and like I've said before, that fits with the MK way, as the chairman says, of how they want to play, and that fits with me. But I want to really dominate the ball, but dominate opponents from a physical point of view as well. Yes, we probably do lack a little bit of physicality in areas of the pitch and at certain times. That's going to be really, really hard to implement at this stage of the season. But that's one of the slight, I think, with how we train now and how we're going to implement training once we get over this festive period. We'll hopefully see a natural progression in how aggressive we are and how physically capable we are. It's going to be difficult to implement it massively, like I said, but certainly I want my teams to be physically dominating, whether that be in duels, but also all over the pitch, outrunning the opponent and dominating them in all areas of the pitch. So that's a big makeup what I look for as a head coach, and I want my team to look for. I spoke a lot about that end vision of what we want, and that vision there. We've got the short-term goals, and it's about building up gradually on those steps to help implement that. But that's something where definitely we can improve.
Being dropped into the job at this stage means, inevitable questions from me and Luke pretty much every week for the next 6 weeks or so about the January transfer window. But obviously, you guys will have sat down and had conversations about that.
These are ongoing conversations every day. I'm in contact with Liam, and like I said, it's a collaboration between myself, Liam, and all the other staff as well, and the owner, the chairman. It's a collaboration, and it's a decision where. And I feel that's important, that people sit around the table and discuss what the team needs and different options. And we've certainly got options in there to go and strengthen and tweak the team a little bit and add to the team. And, those discussions, and like I said, are happening daily. We'll speak today, we'll speak tomorrow, and they'll always form part of our conversation on a daily basis, particularly during this time as January approaches.
Yeah, you'll definitely get bored of me and Luke asking, but we've got to start the ball rolling early doors. Not just the players, of course, but you'll be looking at adding to your backroom staff as well. How's that going?
Yeah, we've got Aaron Dagger joined me down from Leeds, who's been a colleague of mine for many years now. We've built up a good working relationship. He knows how I want to work. He's a person, not only kind of has his abilities as a coach and analyst and things like that. He's a good friend of mine. He's a person who has qualities, who can fit into a group of staff, and that I was clear from minute one with Liam and Simon and the chairman, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to integrate myself with the current staff, because at this football club we've got some great staff and experts in their field, and I think if you have the people who can collaborate with people and integrate into that staff as well and add value to it, which we're going to do, and change that, then that can only be of benefit to the team and the club. And Aaron certainly fits that bill. We're working now behind the scenes where we can add another member of staff, potentially 2 members of staff to the team. So again, with those conversations about the January transfer window and the games, they're conversations what we're having all the time, and I'm working hard behind the scenes to try and get that in place. But listen, the staff who have been here so far have been really, really helpful as regards to me blending in and taking on a little bit extra responsibility until we finalise these decisions. But we're working hard, and we'll hopefully we'll get those in place shortly.
And just finally from me, we saw Mo and Will Grigg up front together really on Boxing Day. Not something we've really gotten used to. MK Don seeing two centre forwards playing at the same time. Is it, when you've got guys like that, you guys who are proven goal scorers in a time when goals are hard to come by, it's massive to get them both firing, isn't it?
I think so, and that's with the rest of the forward line. That's one of the areas I identified that we can be better in the final third. We can be better as a team to create opportunities for these players as well, and we can certainly be better once we get into those positions to score. And that's one of the short-term goals, what we want to try and do. Like I said, it's difficult to do anything on the training ground pretty much during this period because it's kind of game and recover. But with a little bit of walk through and things like that, and a little bit of analysis work, we can certainly identify some areas where we can attack well, and that was the thinking behind how we lined up on against Forest Green. We felt we could hurt them in certain areas, and I thought there were good examples of when we did that. But listen, once we get into a rhythm after the festive period, we can start to create some continuity in how we work on the training pitch and start getting down to some real work when we're working with the units, the strikers and midfielders and defenders, and then the team as a whole. So yes, we know where we want to improve, but getting those players on the pitch and getting those players firing is going to be key to our success and how we move up the table.